Hi, in this video I want to show you how to install the open source version of LinkedDataHub, which is a knowledge graph management system. So first let's go to its GitHub repository, then scroll down to setup and expand it, and we'll see a list of prerequisites and a list of steps with instructions that we need to follow. So this guide assumes a Linux system or a Windows subsystem for Linux, for example. So you need to have bash, which is a standard Linux shell, and then keytool that comes with Java, and OpenSSL 1.1 comes with Linux, and those are the utilities used to generate certificates. And this whole project is based on Docker and Docker Compose, so you need to have those installed. But if you do not have, then just follow the instructions here, linked here, and then get them installed. But I do have them installed, so let's go to steps. And the first step says fork this repository and clone the fork into a folder. So I already went ahead and forked it into my own account. So I'll just take this git URL here, go to my Windows subsystem for Linux, and then clone it. Now it's cloning LinkedDataHub into a folder. It can take a while, so let's just see what the next step is. In the folder, we'll need to create a .env file and fill out this configuration, like this one here. So it has two parts, and the first one is related to what URI LinkedDataHub will be running on, or its base URI, so to say. And in this case, it's just localhost, because we will be running it on a local machine. And the second part is some metadata about the agent who will be owning this LinkedDataHub instance. And I could change this to my own data, but for example purposes, let's just be John Doe. But we can use the .env sample file where all this is also present, and yeah, just use it as a template for our file. Okay, so the cloning is finished now. Let's go into our LinkedDataHub folder. Yes, so let's just check the .env file, sample file. Okay, it's there, and then let's just copy it and make it .env and double check it. Yes, the information is there, so I'm not gonna change any of it because it's just an example, so I'll pretend I'm John Doe for now. And yeah, it's family name and given name and username, email address information like that. So at this point, not very important. And let's go to step number 3. It says generate or set up SSL certificates and keys by running this script from the command line. Okay, so let's try that. Scripts setup, and it takes a couple of parameters. So the first one is the .env file, which is generated with the configuration. The second one is the folder, and it's called SSL in this case, where the certificates and keys will be stored in. And then password of the owner agent, which is John Doe in this case, and then password of the secretary agent, which is the LinkedDataHub server itself. And the last one is the validity of the certificates. So let's just type it in .env SSL folder, and then I'll make my or John Doe's password, change it. And it's important to remember the password we use here because we'll need it later on. Secretary's password is not really important. Let's just make LinkedDataHub, and then make certificates valid for 10 years. So now we see the certificates are being generated, and if we go to the SSL folder, Well, we see that we generated certificates for owner, secretary, and also the server. No, sorry, the server is just, it's going to be mounted. So the next instruction is to simply run docker compose up. But before I do that, I need to copy this certificate to my Windows system, otherwise I will not be able to access it. Yep, you don't have to do this. So we just simply do a docker compose up, which will bring up all the services, bring the project up. And the first time it can take a while because, yeah, the certificates are being read, the data sets are being loaded into triple stores, but the subsequent runs should be much faster because that data will not be loaded again. So while it's loading, let's check instructions again. It says install keystore P12 into the web browser of your choice. So we're using Chrome, and it's going to be under settings, advanced, manage certificates. And if you're using a different browser, you can find the instructions here on how to find the certificate installation. So I'm going to go to settings. I'll just search for cert here, and it will come up. Security, manage certificates. Okay, so now we need to import the keystore P12 file. And it's important to change the file type here to include P12, otherwise we will not be able to see it. So this is the file. I'll copy it over from Linux to my Windows machine. So now I can access it here. I choose keystore P12. And like I said, we needed to remember this password here. We entered into the script because it's the password of the owner agent certificate, and it was changed. So now we have installed the John Doe certificate into our Chrome. And then the last instruction here says simply open this link in the browser. But I'll copy that link and close the browser because sometimes it glitches and does not pick up certificates that have been just installed. And at the same time, we can check how LinkedDataHub is doing. So yeah, all the certificates necessary are installed, the data is installed, and if you see a line like this here, server startup, and it means it's all good, the system is ready. And now, I'll open localhost, make it HTTPS. That's the link. We need to open per the instructions, and you'll probably get a warning like this, meaning your connection is not private and so on. This is only because our server certificate is self-signed, so it's generated by the system. But since when we're on localhost and for testing purposes, it doesn't really matter. So just go to advanced and proceed to localhost. In other words, just ignore this warning. And now we need to find our John Doe certificate here. Should be this one. Yes, generated today. And we just choose the John Doe certificate. And we will be authenticated as the owner of this LinkedDataHub instance. And again, the first load can take a little longer because ontologies are being loaded. As you see here, a lot of data is being loaded into memory with the ontology of the application and so on. But the subsequent runs should be taking much shorter time. And now we're in. We can see we're authenticated as John Doe. authenticate with the system, and we can proceed to create documents or import data or do something else with the system, with this knowledge graph management system. So enjoy it, and please check out our other screencast. Thanks.